Let's bring you news from Al-Falah University, which is under the lens. The Delhi police is at the Al-Falah University as I speak. The police personnel are checking the CCTV cameras at Al-Falah University. Search operations continue. Remember, 3 terrorist suspects worked at this university, and university staff is also believed to be linked to the Delhi blast. I have with me Anushka, who is following all the developments there at Al-Falah University. Anushka, we have a multi-pronged investigation underway. Now you have the Delhi police team arriving at Al-Falah University because those arrested are doctors from Al-Falah University in the last couple of days, and especially in the last 24 hours, the focus has been on the place you're standing at.
That's right, Vedika. We're outside the Al-Falah University, and what we are seeing, there is a lot of movement from the investigating agencies. Right now, we saw Delhi Police special cell team that has in fact reached at the university premises. This is the Al-Falah University that we are talking about. It is here at Fatehpur Taga and Faridabad, and this is the place from where Mujammil, Shakeel used to go to and fro to his rented accommodation via the car of his female colleague, that is Shaheena. She was also involved in this particular case, and also she was, deep hand in gloves with all those people who were in fact orchestrating this terror attack that took place in Chandni Chowk yesterday. They're also seeing that this is suspected, and many people are in fact saying that they were collecting a lot of explosives, and 2,900 kilograms of explosives were found at the residence of Mujammil Shakeel, who was arrested. After which his accomplices got to know when the news blew up, and after that, in panic, they orchestrated and hatched this plan that took place in Chandni Chowk. But yes, we are seeing that the Delhi Police special cell has in fact reached here inside the university premises, and right now raids are going on to establish the links of the university authorities and Mujammil Shakeel as to how, if at all, they were working in close coordination. Over to you.
Anushka, do stay with me. I want to also introduce our reporters who have been bringing our viewers all the updates from across the country. At this point, Aditya Raj Kaul joining me from the blast site. I also have Anushka with me at Al-Falah University. Nasser joins me from Pulwama, and I have Reet Kaur Sahani, who has been tracking all the developments from LNJP Hospital. Anushka, I'm going to come back to you because we want to know more about Dr. Shaheen. She's a key link to this entire conspiracy, this terror conspiracy. What can you tell us about Dr. Shaheen? She is the doctor from Al-Falah University that we know of. Her car is the car in which a huge amount of explosives were recovered yesterday. Anushka.
That's right, Vedika. Shaheena is a key accomplice in this whole case. She is said to be the female colleague of Mujammil Shakeel, who was arrested by in the joint operation that was held by the Jammu and Kashmir Police and Haryana Police. In this case, Shaheena was the person who used to give her car to Mujammil Shakeel so that he can move to his rented accommodation, and they were amassing such huge amount of explosives at the residence, the rented accommodation of Mujammil Shakeel. After he was arrested, Shaheena's car was in fact confiscated and detained by the Haryana Police. They were they in fact detained Shaheena, and she was being interrogated in this whole case as to how she was linked with Mujammil Shakeel and what her role was, with regards to the transportation of all those explosives that Mujammil Shakeel was gathering and amassing at the rented accommodation where he was living in. The rented accommodation that we are speaking about is barely a few kilometers from here, from where we are standing. And this is the university from where Mujammil Shakeel used to go to and fro to the rented accommodation. This is the Al-Falah University where he was a senior doctor from the past 3.5 years. And this is the place from where he was orchestrating all that, attack, all that. He was orchestrating this whole plan where he was amassing such huge amount of explosives. And now what we are getting to see here from our sources also, we are in fact getting to know that this is the place where he was in fact living from the past 3.5 years. Inside the campus was where he was staying, and he used to go to the rented accommodation so that he could gather all those explosions and all the suspected ammonium nitrate that was found at his rented accommodation. And right now, as we are speaking, the Delhi Police Special Cell is inside conducting a raid and investigating several of the people who are here about their role in this particular plan. Over to you.
Anushka, thanks for joining us live from outside Al-Falah University, where the Delhi police is currently raiding the place. The investigations continue. Do stay with me, but I have some breaking news coming in that we're going to go to now. The NIA, the National Investigation Agency, officials are at the blast site. Aditya Rajkol standing by to bring us the latest. Aditya, the NIA on the spot taking over the case, are they?
Well, the NIA has to officially take over the case later today. That's what we are hearing because this is a terror attack now. Officially, Delhi Police also issued statement. NDTV was the first network in India to in fact confirm this development late at night yesterday that this is indeed a terror attack and not merely a CNG or an LPG gas cylinder blast. There were high casualties that were reported. Also the devastation that happened, more than 22 vehicles completely dismantled and destroyed and gutted in this terror attack. There are multiple agencies that have been probing this since late evening yesterday, including the Delhi Police Special Cell. We have the Crime Branch, we have the NIA, and of course other agencies also. There have been NSG, NIA and the FSL looking at the forensic side of the investigation, trying to extract all the equipment, the details here, piece together what really happened, and also test the chemicals that are found around the car where the blast and explosion took place at the Subhash Chowk between Red Fort and the Gauri Shankar Mandir here in the old part of the city in India's national capital. So the NIA would be taking over the case, since I said that this is a anti-terror operation, attack. Earlier during the Pahalgam attack also, within 24 to 48 hours, the NIA had taken over the investigation. But 6 months after the deadly Pahalgam terror attack, even though Operation Sindoor had decimated Jaish-e-Mohammed headquarters and several of the terror camps and headquarters, yet again Jaish-e-Mohammed leading this attack in the heart of the national capital, and 2,900 kgs of ammonium nitrate and explosive material also being recovered is sending alarm bells in the national capital. In the last 14 years, we haven't witnessed such kind of a terror attack taking place in New Delhi. In fact, in the last 14 years, it hasn't clearly happened. We remember the attacks from 2005, 2008 and 2011. But since then, there's been calm. The police and the forces and the intelligence agencies have been keeping a very strong vigil. So clearly, at this particular juncture, the critical point would be to ensure the safety of all sensitive locations and installations, and also ensure that if at all there are other members of the module that are there, they need to be arrested, they need to be taken into custody as well. So the investigations continue from multiple angles at this stage.
All right, Aditya, do stay with me while we also bring us viewers up to speed on all that's happening on the ground and in terms of the multi-pronged investigation that is taking place. The blast near Red Fort is now officially being treated as a terror attack, and a possible suicide angle is also being probed because the man on your screen, Mohammad Umar, is the man who was last seen inside the car. If you can see there, that's at the parking lot near the Red Fort. He was in the car is what we are assuming at this point. We don't see a co-passenger with him, but that's the last visual from the CCTV camera that has been caught of Mohammad Umar, and he is the man who was last seen in the car. What we also know at this point, viewers, is Mohammad Umar panicked. He panicked after the raids that took place in Faridabad, after which he took this car and then went there near the Red Fort. He waited 3 hours is what we believe. At least that car was parked there for about 3 hours, after which close to 6:55 p.m. is when the blast took place. The DNA samples are being matched with those of what the remains in the car that are there to understand and ascertain if it is Umar who was the man behind behind the wheel, and is he the man who triggered the blast? That angle is very important to this entire case. Now, the first image and video we've brought to you of Dr. Umar Mohammad. He has his links with all the people that we've mentioned from the Faridabad case and the huge arms recovery haul, also explosives haul that we've seen that took place yesterday. Top sources confirmed that the car used in the explosion belonged to Dr. Umar Mohammad from Pulwama, linked to the same Jaish-e-Mohammed module busted in Faridabad. A massive investigation is underway. You have the NIA on the spot, like Aditya pointed out. The NSG teams have also been to the blast site. The Jammu and Kashmir Police are also present there. Forensic teams have been carrying out an investigation on the evidence recovered from the site. Security also, of course, has been tightened ever since this blast took place in Delhi. Shreya joining me live. Shreya, we believe you're at the Jain temple, and the explosion, the impact of it was even felt there, if I'm not mistaken. What can you tell us?
That's right, Vedika. I'm reporting from inside Jain Temple's office here, and you can see for yourself the wreckage here, the impact that was palpable after the deadly blast that took place last evening. There was a glass wall here that shattered, and the complete wreckage is here for you to see. But of course, this has not been cleaned yet because the entire area here in Chandni Chowk has been sealed. Security has been tightened. I'll show you how there is this eerie silence across this market area, which is one of the most densely populated areas. And I'll show you the visuals. Here you can see police Delhi police have put up the barricades here. That's the iconic Red Fort right across the street where the deadly blast took place, claiming the lives of at least 12 people, injuring over 20 people. This entire area has been cordoned off. Only media personnel and Delhi police officials are visible here. That's the old Lajpat Rai market, you know, the Asia's oldest, biggest electronics hub, which is completely empty right now because we understand there is a sense of panic and fear amongst the visitors across the national capital. You can see the people have crowded there, the curious onlookers who want to take a glimpse of what is going on here. But of course, security has been tightened up, and for investigation purposes, this area remains cordoned off. This is the visual that I'm showing you of the Jain temple, and right next to it is, of course, the Gauri Shankar temple. And this is, and there are several other gurudwaras, mosques, and churches in the vicinity. But this is, as you can see, is closest to the Red Fort area where the explosion took place, and the impact of it is highly visible. You know, the wreckage that continue to be there, and of course. People working here, they have left for their homes. Everything
Okay,
is
Shreya,
shut
I will
here.
have to interrupt there because I believe we're getting fresh visuals also of the NSG at the blast site where they've recovered some evidence, I believe, and they're going to be wrapping that up and taking it back for further investigations and interrogation. There you have it on your screens, live visuals coming in of the NSG team. They're not the only team there. You have the NIA team as well, the Delhi police team, the Jammu and Kashmir police team as well on the spot. This is a multi-pronged investigation, like I have been harping on, that is taking place on the Delhi blast that took place close to 6:55 p.m. last night. Now, Prime Minister Modi has condoled the victims of the Delhi blast and has vowed to bring the perpetrators to justice. This comes as Home Minister Amit Shah is holding a high-level security review meeting. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh as well, in a stern warning, said the attackers will not be spared. Prime Minister Modi says the conspirators behind the blast near Delhi's iconic Red Fort will not be spared a day after 9 people were killed in the explosion. He has said, and I'm going to quote him here, our agencies will get to the bottom of this conspiracy. The conspirators behind this will not be spared. All those responsible will be brought to justice, he said while speaking in Bhutan's Thimphu, as most border nations are also on high alert, is what we believe. Listen in.
लेकिन आज मैं यहाँ बहुत भारी मन से आया हूँ। कल शाम दिल्ली में हुई भयावह घटना ने सभी के मन को व्यथित कर दिया है। मैं पीड़ित परिवारों का दुख समझता हूं। आज पूरा देश उनके साथ खड़ा है। मैं कल रात भर इस घटना की जांच में जुटी सभी एजेंसियों के साथ, सभी महत्वपूर्ण लोगों के साथ संपर्क में था, विचार विमर्श चलता था, जानकारियों के तार जोड़े जा रहे थे। हमारी एजेंसियां इस षड्यंत्र की तह तक जाएगी। इसके पीछे के षड्यंत्रकारियों को बख्शा नहीं जाएगा। All those responsible will be brought to justice.
First and foremost, I extend my heartfelt condolences to all those who lost their lives in the tragic incident that occurred in Delhi yesterday. I pray to God to grant strength and solace to the bereaved families in this hour of deep grief. From this platform, I wish to assure my citizens that the country's leading investigative agencies are conducting a swift and thorough inquiry into the incident. The findings of the investigation will soon be made public. I want to formally assure the nation that those responsible for this tragedy will be brought to the justice and will not be spared under any circumstances.
There's one recurring image we're bringing to you. The man to the right of my screen right now, which is Muhammad Umar. Dr. Umar Mohammad was the suspected suicide bomber behind the blast at the Red Fort. Of course, we still need intelligence agencies, security agencies to come out and confirm if that is the case. The suspect was Dr. Adil and Dr. Mujammil's aide. Now, Umar Mohammad's family's DNA is being collected to ascertain the identity of the body obtained from the car at the blast site. The other key conspirator, Omar Rashid, involved in the case, is a government employee and Amir Rashid's brother. Amir Rashid had handed over the keys of the car to key conspirator Tariq. According to sources, Umar drove the car from Badarpur border near Faridabad and brought the car to the Red Fort parking lot. Umar allegedly sat for 3 hours at the parking lot after Adil and Mujammil's arrest from Faridabad. Sources say Umar Mohammad panicked and detonated the explosive near the Red Fort metro station. So what you're seeing in terms of the impact is of a panic that ensued after the Faridabad raid that led to the explosion that you're seeing there on your screens. Let's now bring you the biodata of the bomber, Dr. Umar Mohammad. His father is G. Nabi Bhatt. The native place is Koil in Pulwama in Jammu Kashmir. His date of birth is the 24th of February 1989. Current occupation, doctor at Al Falah Medical College, Faridabad. That's where even the others were picked up from. Now, Dr. Umar Mohammad's education and career, let's bring you more on that. MD, he's from GMC Srinagar, former senior resident of GMC Anantnag. Later, he was transferred to Faridabad. Dr. Umar Mohammad reported to be close to Dr. Adil, both associated with the radical doctors group active on Telegram and part of the Jaish-e-Mohammed module. That's what you need to know about that man on your screen. A Faridabad link to the Red Fort blast is now emerging. NDTV has tracked the I-20 car at the center of the explosion. Sources say the vehicle was first spotted entering Delhi through the Badarpur border near Faridabad. The Delhi Police Special Cell has conducted extensive CCTV mapping to trace its movements across the city. We bring you that map now to show you how Omar made his way from the Faridabad border to the Red Fort area. All of that being mapped by the police through CCTV. Investigators say the car traveled toward Old Delhi, where it was ultimately parked near the Red Fort. Critically, CCTV footage shows the driver remained seated inside the car for nearly 3 hours without stepping out even once. Investigators say the Red Fort blast used an ANFO car bomb detonated likely by manual trigger. ANFO is a cheap, easy way to assemble from common materials, a preferred device in past terror attacks. Investigators are now hunting who built, who supplied and who triggered that device. According to the Delhi police sources, the car was sold by Salman to Devinder in March 2025. Subsequently, it exchanged hands from Devinder to Amir on the 29th of October. From Amir, it reached Dr. Umar Mohammad. Tariq was also privy to the exchange of the car. Both Amir and Tariq are now being questioned by the Delhi police team. Sources say the driver may have been awaiting instructions or for someone. Police are now verifying the full route, possible handlers, and whether this was part of a larger terror plan. Investigators are on at top speed. And breaking all of this down for us is Padmaja.
This I-20 car that, for all practical purposes, was the murder weapon in the Red Fort blast. How did it change hands? That intricate web that was woven to ensure that the police are not able to track it back to the original owners. Let's tell you who acquired it and how. First up is this man called Amir. You would have seen his picture. We broke it first on NDTV. Amir bought the car from Salman. He was seen in a picture holding a key and with the I-20 in the background. Now, Salman, remember, is the person who's a resident of Gurugram in the National Capital Region. The registration certificate of this car, by the way, still bears his name. Salman was picked up yesterday by the police and he said, I have already sold the car off. That is what led police to Amir. Subsequently, Amir handed the car over to Tariq. He bought this car from Amir. He was yesterday night detained in Kashmir. He was subjected to sustained interrogation, and that is when it emerged that Tariq had also given the car over to Dr. Umar Mohammad. Dr. Umar Mohammad is the key person of interest in this entire case. Umar Mohammad is likely to be the suicide bomber, the man who is seen in the driver's seat of this I-20 car, which was last seen in a parking lot close to the Red Fort area. And Umar Mohammad is a key accomplice of Adil and Mujammil, the two doctors, one from Anantnag and the other from Haryana. Both of them who were arrested over the weekend, over the last several days. And these two people ultimately are the links between the terror attack, between the attack that took place outside the Red Fort and the Faridabad module of the Jaish-e-Mohammed that was busted over the last few days by the police in Jammu and Kashmir, Haryana and in Delhi. Adil and Mujammil, both of these men, and Dr. Umar Mohammad was the person who was linking these two Jaish-e-Mohammed operatives and the blast that has taken place at Red Fort.
But like I said, it's not only Delhi where the focus of the investigations are, because a lot of these people who've been arrested are from Jammu and Kashmir as well. A terror nexus linked to the Delhi blast has been found in the valley. In a late-night crackdown, 3 suspects were detained by the Jammu and Kashmir Police. The 3 suspects were picked up from Pulwama district. Tariq Ahmed and Amir Rashid have been brought to Srinagar, and Umar Rashid has been brought to Pampore. It is believed Amir and Umar Rashid are brothers. Nasir joins me live. Nasir, what light can you throw upon the crackdown that is currently underway in the valley? Bring us the names of these people, why they have been arrested, and what possible link they have to the larger terror nexus that we witness hitting Delhi.
Well, it's believed that the accused who have these doctors, Adil and Mujammil, who were arrested for carrying that massive explosive 2,900 kgs and other arms and ammunition, it's linked to this suicide attack. Because this Umar Nabi, his name is not Umar Mohammad, is Umar Nabi, who is believed to be a suicide bomber, who is believed to be was driving the car and then blew that up, is Dr. Umar Nabi. He was believed to be the main accused and police were looking for him. Now what we visited his home and there's a disbelief and there's a shock. Not just in home but in the neighborhood, in Pulwama's Koil area. And they can't believe that who would they consider one of the brightest medical students, doctor, could turn as a suicide bomber. Who radicalized him, how he was radicalized, and over the last 3-4 years he was not in Kashmir, he was mainly in Faridabad or in Haryana or in Delhi. So who was radicalizing him, how he got motivated to become a suicide bomber, a terrorist, if he indeed it is, because actually the forensic evidence is yet to come. Dr. Umar Nabi's mother, she was arrested, detained, and his 2 brothers were also detained during overnight raids. And police are also taking the DNA samples of his mother to match with the DNA samples of the suicide bomber to ensure if it is actually indeed Dr. Umar Nabi. But what is making it more suspicious that it may be he, because since Friday last, he has actually switched off his phone once he got to know that his other members, Dr. Adil and Mujammil, have been arrested by the police, and the larger gang appears to be exposing and unraveling. That's why it is believed that he actually exploded that car in panic near Red Fort yesterday. And there are also other people who are believed to be part of it, but the families are really in shock and disbelief. For example, this Amir, who was passed off as Tariq, he is Amir. He has been arrested by police yesterday, last evening, and his brother also. His name is also Umar. So police are saying they are no way involved in it. They say they have never been, Amir has never been outside Kashmir. How could he be part of that and being in front of car? But this picture tells them that this car was actually used. But the fact is, if it indeed was used, he is being interrogated, he is with the police. So it's at multiple levels. Jammu and Kashmir Police, with the central agencies, with Delhi Police are investigating it in a coordinated manner, because it's not the first time such a terror attack has happened, but it has after long time it has happened in Delhi. That too, a doctor seen as a savior could turn as a suicide bomber. Just a sense of disbelief and shocking how people can turn overnight and become so radicalized that they can take their own lives and kill innocent people.
Right, Nasir, and this is the white-collar terrorism that we've been talking about, harping about. It's so worrying, so concerning. And like a former NIA chief has also said on Breaking Grounds just sometime earlier, this is a huge concern and a challenge for the security agencies. Stay with me, Nasir. I'm going to come back to you perhaps in a while from now. But before that, I want to bring to our viewers the terror trail. We're talking about the Delhi 10-11 terror trail, the Jaish-e-Mohammed module here. It starts with the man that we've been showing you on our screens, Dr. Umar. He's a suicide bomber, most probably, is what we know. He's from Al-Falah University, Faridabad. That's where, folks, you have the police and the other agencies also holding raids and investigations. And he drove the explosive-laden car, is what we know. We got that image of him also at the parking lot. We believe for 3 hours he was at that parking lot before the explosion took place. Then you have Dr. Mujammil. He's also a terror suspect. He's from Al-Falah University, Faridabad. We brought you so many details on him yesterday. 2,900 kgs of explosives recovered, a huge amount there, which led to a lot of conversations yesterday over this huge terror module being busted. Then you have Dr. Shahina. She's a terror suspect as well. We believe she's been arrested. She's being questioned. She's from Al-Falah University as well. So all the focus, Aditya, is also now being divided among a lot of places. One, of course, the Delhi blast site that we know of. Also the valley. Also Al-Falah University, where we're talking about all these doctors. We're talking about that white-collar ecosystem, which is so worrying at this point, a challenge for the security forces. These people being embedded in the medical fraternity. What can you tell us about them?
Well, clearly, significantly, this is a different form of terror that is being witnessed. This is white-collar ecosystem of terror that is being witnessed here in this latest terror attack. Where I'm standing right now is meters away from the exact location of the terror attack near the Red Fort. We'll walk a little further just to give you a glimpse of where we are standing. Since last evening, there's been a lot of hectic activity here in the heart of the national capital. We are standing right in front of the historic Red Fort in the old part of the city. You can see on your visuals on the right side is the Red Fort. It has become a security garrison completely. There are paramilitary forces, the RAF and Delhi police personnel who are there. This white tent that you see is the location where the exact blast took place. This is the red light of the Netaji Subhash Chowk in front of the Red Fort. And then we move a little left side. This is the Chandni Chowk area, and then the Gauri Shankar temple, which was thronged by a lot of pilgrims yesterday here. One thing that I want to highlight out here is that yesterday Red Fort was shut, and that was blessing perhaps in disguise, because if the tourists would have been here, if at all there would have been a situation where, at this particular juncture, every single day there are thousands of tourists that come to Red Fort, because this is a landmark, tourist site, historical site here in the national capital. So every tourist, either from India or abroad, who comes to Delhi, makes it a point to come to the Red Fort. So if at all there were, tourists and people out here, it would have been a massive tragedy. But since there was desperation, since there was panic involved in this entire terror attack, it was not a planned exercise. He just rammed his vehicle slowly towards the red light, and that's when the blast took place. There were 22 vehicles that were completely mangled, completely destroyed in this exercise, and there were at least 10 people who died and 20 others were injured. Now, Delhi police simultaneously, along with NIA and the J&K police, are investigating this case in close coordination. It's a national level kind of an emergency investigation that is taking place. Home Minister Amit Shah is being briefed very regularly on the latest developments that are being taking place. Prime Minister Modi is being briefed as well. National Security Advisor Ajit Doval is keeping a very, very close watch on every aspect of the investigation as well. Remember, in New Delhi, such a blast hasn't taken place in the last 14 years. Largely, we've had a peaceful national capital over the last 14 years, but suddenly this blast taking place has sent in alarm bells and shockwaves across the country, because it's not just about the blast. It's also about the 2,900 kgs of the ammonium nitrate and the explosives that have been, captured by the J&K police in the raid in neighboring Faridabad, merely 50 kilometers from where I am standing. So imagine if that kind of an explosive had reached New Delhi, it would have led to a catastrophic attack, and the magnitude of the tragedy and the casualties would have been very, very high. That has been, ruled out right now, but there could be possibly many other members of the Jaish-e-Mohammed who could be on the run, and that's why the investigative agencies are not taking chances. They're interrogating each and every person associated with this Jaish-e-Mohammed module to ensure that if there are other, key links, they need to be neutralized or arrested as soon as possible.
Aditya, do stay with me. I want to take our viewers through some of the key burning questions that we have. The first one being, is this suicide bombing a panic reaction to the Faridabad bust? What we're hearing from our sources at this point is that Muhammad Umar did panic after the huge raids conducted by the Jammu and Kashmir Police as well as Faridabad police, because of which he panicked. But we have breaking news coming in. We're getting you the first image of that missing link that we've been talking about. That, folks, is Dr. Shaheen. She is the woman we have been talking about. Aditya Rajkol still with us live. We'll go to him in a moment from now, but I want you to go through that image of the doctor who was part of that white-collar ecosystem, hoodwinking the system in the garb of a doctor, wearing a white coat, but being a part of that huge terror nexus that allegedly is a part of the system, the planning that went into hitting Delhi yesterday. Aditya Rajkol still with me. Aditya, let's just focus on Shaheena for a moment here. We have her image for the first time here on NDTV, a crucial link to this huge puzzle that the investigators are currently trying to solve.
Well, yes, this is the first image of Shaheen Shahid that we are breaking on NDTV. This image clearly indicates the lady that was involved in this entire terror conspiracy that was unraveled by the Jammu and Kashmir Police. Dr. Shaheen Shahid was also in this particular university in Faridabad, Haryana. She was very close associate of Mujammil, his girlfriend, and closely monitoring the developments as part of this terror conspiracy. Shaheen Shahid was also the owner of the vehicle that was used by Mujammil. In fact, when the raid took place, an AK-47 rifle was also recovered from this particular vehicle owned by Shaheen Shahid. What we also know is that last few years she was in contact with Mujammil and Adil, continuously helping them out. And apart from that, she was part of that Al-Falah University in Faridabad, Haryana. She was also someone who originally hails from Lucknow in Uttar Pradesh, and that's why there could be some help sought from the UP ATS and the UP police as well when it comes comes to this kind of an investigation. But first on NDTV, the image of Shaheen Shahid being played out, from the very beginning when NDTV first broke in the country that this is a terror conspiracy and this is a terror attack, not merely a terror attack, but possibly a suicide bombing as well. We've tried to, chain together this entire puzzle of how many people are involved in this entire exercise, from Amir to Tariq to all other, people who have been involved in this entire terror conspiracy, and how there were chains that were created, some kind of a barrier for the investigative agencies, the car exchanging hands without any proper documentation, clearly indicating that Jaish-e-Mohammed
कार का पूरा सहयोग उनके साथ है, पूरी संवेदनाएं भी.
Trying to get you Delhi Chief Minister Rekha Gupta's comment there. We'll go back to it. But continue, Aditya, we were talking about Shaheen Shahid. We're bringing our viewers the first image of Shaheen Shahid. Also tell us about the alleged role that she has played in this entire process ahead and in the run-up to the Delhi explosion.
Well, yes, for the first time, yet again on NDTV, the image of Shaheen Shahid is being played out. She's a key element, the only woman who was part of this Jaish-e-Mohammed module, helping out these key 3 to 4 doctors who've been involved in this terror conspiracy. It's not just about the Kashmir Valley where it all began, where the handlers have been arrested as well, but there are, the chains and the, roots of this conspiracy going from Faridabad in Haryana to Saharanpur in Uttar Pradesh to, in fact, national capital New Delhi. Imagine 2,900 kgs of explosive and ammonium nitrate being captured from an area where Shaheen was also involved very closely with Mujammil. In fact, I'm being told that Shaheen has given quite a few details about Mujammil, Adil and the terror conspiracy of the Jaish-e-Mohammed module to the investigative agencies, particularly the J&K police. But as of now, even as the investigations continue and we are keeping a very close watch on that, Shaheen is a very important link in this mystery of a puzzle of the Jaish-e-Mohammed module. While there are 3 to 5 doctors who are in the epicenter of this doctor-led terror module of the Jaish-e-Mohammed, there is possibility that there could be many more doctors or important members of the Jaish-e-Mohammed who could be possibly linked to this in other cities of Haryana, Uttar Pradesh and Delhi. That's why the investigative agencies are not ruling out the possibility of a multi-agency probe, where yesterday we saw not just the NIA, the Delhi Police Special Cell Crime Branch, NSG and FSL probing. We also saw members of the Haryana Police and UP ATS coming at the location here to monitor the situation, help in coordination of the multi-agency probe, because this is an attack on India. This is a terror attack 6 months after the Pahalgam terror attack, yet again in the heart of the national capital. The Prime Minister has spoken, the Home Minister has spoken, but the crucial details of the investigation as to how this happened, who was responsible, who was the main target, and how were they able to actually come together with such huge amounts of explosive material is a question that many people are asking. In fact, there's a lot of fear also among the people as to how such a blast took place in a safe area like New Delhi, which is very close to the parliament of the country and also Prime Minister's office and the residents. So there's a heightened sense of security in the national capital, also in the border areas, a red alert in several other states neighboring New Delhi, and apart from that, several other key states, there is a red alert that has been issued. Vital installations and sensitive areas are being checked regularly. There is increased security by the CISF and other paramilitary forces, including at airports, railway stations, bus stands and other locations. So this particular attack might have been in desperation, but Vedika, there could be possibility of the tentacles of this module spreading wide in other states as well, and that's why they are not ruling out the possibility of other police forces being involved in this multi-pronged exercise. That's why the Home Minister is monitoring the situation very, very closely. They're trying to see if there are other members of the Jaish-e-Mohammed module like Shaheen Shahid, like Umar Mujammil and Adil, who could be still on the run or in hiding, because in many cases these are radicalized, educated youth who are part of a sleeper cell, and they are giving ammunition and explosive material and given a task by the Jaish-e-Mohammed leadership and the ISI. In this particular case, however, a massive tragedy, a massive terror attack has been averted at this particular stage, even though a low-key terror attack did take place outside the Red Fort. And now the priority for the security agencies would be to nab the last perpetrators and also to ensure that the perpetrators come to justice, but to come together for the public and tell us what exactly happened, who were responsible for it, and to frame together the entire sequence of events.
Aditya, stay with me. A very quick recap for our viewers. For the first time, you're seeing the image of Dr. Shaheen. To the right of my screen, you can see her there. That is the first image NDTV is bringing to you of a person who was arrested yesterday. Her alleged links with the Jaish-e-Mohammed also being established at this point. Remember, a huge amount of ammunition was seized from Shaheen's car on Monday. We believe she has recruited. She's very important to the Jaish-e-Mohammed, and she's a part of the recruitment that happens for the women's wing. Aditya Raj called there reporting from the blast site for us. Aditya, this is the first female link that we're establishing to the larger conspiracy, to the impact of, to the larger conspiracy, and also the connection that it has with the Delhi blast that took place yesterday. But the focus also intensively at this point on Al-Falah University, where you had Shaheen and you had the others being a part of the system at Al-Falah.
Well, that's right, Vedika. In fact, NDTV was the first news network in the country to tell the viewers that there is a direct link between the Delhi blast and what happened in Faridabad. In fact, yesterday I was reporting from Faridabad in Haryana for NDTV, where we clearly unearthed the mystery behind the doctor syndicate of the Jaish-e-Mohammed module, where not just ammunition of AK-47 Chinese, pistol and other, cartridges were found, but 2,900 kgs of ammonium nitrate and explosive material was also recovered. It's a huge development which would send alarm bells in New Delhi and other capitals across the country as well, because such huge amounts of ammunition being found near the national capital is clearly dangerous, is clearly something that needs to be taken very, very seriously on a very emergency level. So as of now, what we are witnessing clearly is an investigation, a multi-pronged investigation by the agencies, trying to piece together how the Delhi blasts are linked to the Faridabad recovery that happened and the arrest that took place. Also, multiple level interrogation taking place in Jammu and Kashmir of Mujammil, Adil, and of course the associates of Umar, including Amir as well as Tariq. So multiple people are being investigated clearly. Shaheen is also an important element in this direction, and NDTV putting out for the first time the image of Shaheen Shahid, who is a key associate of Mujammil, who is a part of this Jaish-e-Mohammed conspiracy to attack India. India under attack, but India also in solidarity with the victims of this terror attack. Prime Minister speaking there at Bhutan, and then when he said that perpetrators will be brought to justice, there was a huge applause. Bhutan, in fact, standing with India and having a special prayer for the victims of this entire tragedy that took place, the terror attack and the suicide bombing outside the historic Red Fort in the national capital. So even as we keep our viewers abreast about the latest developments that are taking place, it's important to tell them that the Delhi police, the NIA and the J&K police are working jointly, very closely investigating this. The intelligence agencies and other agencies are helping them out. There's a forensic, scientific, evidence-based research and investigation that is happening right behind me here at the Red Fort, where the blast took place. A lot of hectic activity ever since last evening in this particular location, with multiple agencies and police being put out, and the entire area has been cordoned off as of now. And we will, of course, keep our viewers updated about the latest development from the epicenter of the bomb blast here at Red Fort.
Aditya Raj call, stay with me. We're going to be slipping to a short break, but not before telling our viewers what you're seeing on your screens is the first image of Dr. Shaheen. We will bring you more on her alleged role and the larger nexus at play and the connection that most of them have with Jaish-e-Mohammed. All of that after a short break.